Hello everyone, it's your fellow Yalla and welcome to my channel. So the Super Mario Galaxy movie has been out for a few weeks now, and I finally got a chance to watch it in theaters. Now, I love the Galaxy games. I finished both of them ever since the movie got announced, and I even made a full video talking about why the first levels in Super Mario Galaxy are so good. So go check it out later. Personally, I prefer Galaxy 1 over 2, but 2 still has some amazing levels, especially the ones with Yoshi and the Cloud Flower, which is probably my favorite power-up, I don't know. Now, I wouldn't say Galaxy is my favorite 3D Mario game, that still goes to Super Mario Odyssey, but this movie actually has a ton of references to Odyssey, which I thought was really cool. But what do I think about the movie itself? Well, we'll get into that in a second, because I have a lot to say about this film. But before we start, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year, so let's make that happen. Oh yeah, I'm warning you all, there are gonna be some spoilers in this video. If you still haven't seen the film and you care about spoilers, then get out of your seats and leave the show right now, because we're about to get into some spoiler territory. Anyways, let's go. Fellas, can you make the stage Galaxy themed? Much better. Anyways, let's summarize the movie's plot. The movie starts by introducing a new character in the Mario Cinematic Universe, Rosalina, who's telling the Lumas a bedtime story, but she gets interrupted by a robot called Megaleg, controlled by Bowser Jr., who ends up kidnapping her to use her powers for his own plans. Before getting captured, Rosalina sends a Luma to warn Princess Peach. Because of that, Peach and Toad travel across the galaxies to save Rosalina and stop Bowser Jr. Meanwhile, Mario and Luigi, along with Yoshi, are left behind trying to deal with everything happening back in the Mushroom Kingdom. But then they ended up in space and now they have to find Princess Peach. That means all of them are in the adventure. Along the way, they meet several characters throughout their adventure, like Fox McCloud, who actually plays a role in the story, as well as characters like the Honey Queen, King Wart, and even the T-Rex from Odyssey. As the story goes on, the group eventually reunites and work together to track down Bowser Jr. and rescue Rosalina. In the final act, everyone teams up for a big battle, and after a chaotic fight, they manage to stop Bowser Jr.'s plan and save Rosalina. In the end, everything goes back to normal. The characters celebrate their victory, and their movie teases more adventures in the future. Now, what do I think about the plot? Well, fellas, how about we talk about the characters from the previous movie first? Starting with Mario and Luigi. They're alright in this film. I don't think they carry the movie or anything, but I do like that we get more interactions between them, especially at the beginning when Peach leaves and they have to help people throughout the Mushroom Kingdom. And I really love that montage. The map is designed like a level select screen, and each level feels like a different region or province in the kingdom. That was a really cute touch. Now, I do have an issue with Mario, but we'll talk about him later. Let's quickly talk about Toad, because I don't have strong opinions on him. He seems jealous about Yoshi joining the group, and it just goes nowhere, like, okay. Peach, on the other hand, is a lot better in this film. She's more interesting, and they actually expand on her backstory from the first film, which I'll also get into later. And I really like her interactions with the others, like Mario, Toad, and even Fox McCloud. She also helps out during the climax, and she's especially great in the casino scene with the Mario 2 characters. Donkey Kong isn't really in this film. He only has a small cameo, and honestly, that's probably for the best. He wasn't really one of my favorite characters from the first film, and there are already a lot of characters in the sequel. Plus, he's getting his own movie anyway. It's not confirmed, but like, we all know it's gonna happen. Now let's talk about Bowser. He doesn't really carry this film, at least not like he did in the first one. But I will say, his interactions with the Mario brothers were interesting, and felt like they could have gone somewhere. I'll get into that more later as well. That said, his moments with his son were actually pretty cute. It feels very true to how Bowser acts in the games, and I can say the same about the world building. Just like the first film, it's really solid here. The Gateway Galaxy, for example, isn't exactly faithful to the games, but I actually like how they turned it into more of a space hub, almost like an airport for traveling between galaxies. And it still feels very Mario in its design. Now about the music. They still use some licensed songs, which was an issue in the first film, but it's not as bad here. This time there's a lot more Mario music, which definitely helps. I will say though, I wish we got more music from the Galaxy games, but what we got was decent enough. And some tracks were definitely better than the first film, especially during the more dramatic scenes. As for the pacing, it is a bit better, especially in the beginning where some scenes actually have breathing room. But once you get into the second and third acts, yeah, it starts to feel like the first film again. For the humor, I don't have strong opinions on it. I'd say it's in the same quality as the previous film. It's just not really the main focus. Anyways, it's time to talk about the new characters. I think it's perfect to start with Yoshi. I love the way Yoshi is animated, and Donald Glover does a decent job with the voice. It sounds pretty authentic to the games, even though you can still tell there are some differences. His interactions with Mario and Luigi are really cute, but I will say, after Yoshi joins the group, he's kinda just there for the rest of the movie. Like, sure, he helps a bit, but at the same time, it doesn't really bring much to the story. Still though, he's a nice addition and fun to watch. Now Bowser Jr. I think he kinda carries parts of the film, but I do have some problems with him, and I think some of those issues come from how other characters are handled, like Bowser for example. At first I wasn't a fan of his design, especially the eyes when he was revealed in the teaser, but honestly I think some scenes it actually works. It makes him look more crazy and a bit more menacing. His voice isn't the best, but it's not distracting either. Although I will say, in the Arabic dub, his voice sounds way more fitting to how he is in the games. I'll show a clip of that right now.
أنا باوزر جونيور وهاخد بابايا معايا حالا.
So far I sound weirdly positive about this film. Doesn't the thumbnail literally say this is a nothing burger of a film? Well, don't worry, because right now, we're about to switch things up. So prepare yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm about to be a little harsh on this film. Let's not waste any more time. Let's resume the show. Where should we start? There are a few major issues with this film, and they all connect to one main problem. But we'll get into that. Let's start with Bowser again. I actually like his interactions with Mario and Luigi. They're weirdly positive and it's kind of funny. There's even a moment where he helps them escape and takes the punishment himself. And later when he reunites with Bowser Jr., you can tell he feels conflicted. And I like that. It makes him feel more three-dimensional. But then the movie just drops it. They set up this arc where Bowser might be changing, and then suddenly, he just back to being fully evil again. It feels rushed, and honestly like a missed opportunity. Mario has a similar issue. There are hints of a relationship between him and Peach. There's even a quiet scene where he gives her a gift. But it goes nowhere. The movie sets things up and then just doesn't follow through. And that's the pattern. Most of the good stuff is in the first act. But once you hit the second and third act, the movie just starts throwing illumination slop at you without really developing anything. And I, Allahella, would never throw stuff like that at my audience. Now let's talk about one of the biggest problems. Why is Fox McCloud even in this film? You could replace him with any random pilot and nothing would change. He's not bad, but he feels unnecessary, like he's just shoved into the story. And the do the barrel roll line, that feels like it's only there to be hip with the fans. Same goes for some of the references. In the first movie, they felt natural. Here, it's more mixed. Some are fine, but others just take you out of the film. They are forced! Like Mario and Luigi turning into babies, it feels like filler, or random characters popping out of Bowser Jr.'s paintbrush. It doesn't add anything to the story. And then there's Rosalina. This is easily the biggest issue with the film. You see, in the Galaxy games, she brings this calm, almost melancholic tone to the story, and her backstory adds a lot to her character. But in this film, they completely fumbled her! She barely gets any screen time, and her backstory is changed into something way safer and less impactful. And that's not even the worst part! Just like every arc in this film, it goes nowhere! Peach barely interacts with her after the reveal, and no one really acknowledges it. So like, what was the point? This is the Super Mario Galaxy movie, and one of the most iconic characters barely matters. And that's what frustrates me the most, because the movie has good ideas. It just doesn't commit to any of them. Like, you can make a decent story, even with Fox McCloud, the distracting references, and even Rosalina's changed backstory. I'd still have issues with the film, but we'd at least have a decent story. That's literally all I wanted from this film. I don't need anything groundbreaking. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the Super Mario Galaxy movie. And I already know some of you are heading to the comments saying, it's just a kid's movie. What did you expect? Or, Mario games don't even have a story. And yeah, that's true. It is a kid's movie, and I'm sure a lot of kids will enjoy it. And yes, Mario games aren't really known for a deep storytelling, even Mario Galaxy. But those aren't good excuses, because being a kid's movie doesn't mean you can't have a well-structured story. Like the Lego movie, for example. It's a kid's movie, and is an adaptation for a popular brand, but they still made a great story with it. And adapting something into a movie, especially something like Mario, means you're working in a format where story actually matters more. It doesn't have to be complex or super deep, but if you're going to set up character arcs, emotional moments, and important plot points, then you should actually follow through with them. That's the main issue I have with this film. It's not really a nothing burger like the thumbnail suggests, and I do like some aspects of it. It's at least enjoyable to watch on the surface. But in a lot of areas, especially the ones I ranted about, it does feel like a nothing burger. And I'm not saying you can't love this movie. If you love it, that's great. I'm happy for you. Just don't harass or treat people like garbage when they are criticizing the film. Now, I gave the first film a 7 out of 10. But for the sequel, I'll give it a 5.5 out of 10. Yeah, I think the first movie is better, but some aspects of the sequel were more enjoyable than the first. But overall, the original is better. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And comment your thoughts on the film. Oh, and almost forgot, I'm planning on making an animated web series in the future. You can see me talking about it in my recent shorts. And I'll be making more in the future. But anyways, I'm Yalla Hella, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye!